Today in our moon sign style attachment series, we're going to look at the Libra sign. So we're going to enter a very carefully constructed emotional world. And this is not a world built on emotional spontaneity, but on a surprising amount of meticulous preservation of relational balance. So because Libra is the natural ruler of the 7th house and is ruled by Venus, Libra is the relationship sign. So when we are speaking about attachments and the Libra archetype, then it's going to be quite complex and quite a hybrid blend of expressions, because relationships are the focal point of this emotional life. So the Libra moon's attachment system is not instinctive. It's actually more strategic, and it engineered them to survive, not through this open expression of emotional needs, but through maintaining an appearance of perpetual emotional and inner harmony. So as Libra is the relationship sign, it means that there is no such thing as a casual attachment, and they love with sharp precision. They attach with a strong vigilance with anyone, and they also learn early that connection can be conditional, and that love remains only if they remain still and peaceful in their space, and if they're giving off that pristine, idyllic Aphrodite expression. So when we're speaking about our Libra moon's attachment style in psychological terms, it would reflect a hybrid anxious-avoidant pattern in a lot of people with Libra moon. They really long for emotional intimacy, like I said, it's the focal point of their inner world, with an intensity that can also express with them simultaneously suppressing the very emotions, because it could disrupt the connection that they so desperately seek. So it's kind of like the Virgo moon wanting to have low emotional maintenance. This anxious avoidant configuration is not random. It's really built and based on survival. Early conditioning with the Libra moon, whether consciously or not activated by the parents or caregivers, has taught them that they are loved when they are easy, emotionally low maintenance, kept when they're agreeable, and safe when they remain non-disruptive. So in environments then and now that were emotionally cold, and their emotional gravity threatened to destabilize the attachment, the Libra moon adapted. So they internalized the understanding that emotional safety is maintained not through authenticity, but through a careful curation of the self. So this emerges the first emotional survival mechanism that often expresses in a Libra moon in chronic self-censorship. So they learn to downplay their own emotional reactions, to rationalize hurt, and to edit anger before it can surface. So as Libra's 7th house Aphrodite energy really prioritizes harmony and really has a strong disdain for conflict. So any sort of like feelings which are deemed such as like wrath or rage, any emotions that would seem to belong to their shadow opposition side Aries, are like swiftly dealt with. So they will often trade emotional honesty for relational harmony, and this is built on that belief in childhood that emotional complexity is unsafe and simplicity is rewarded. So following this, another survival mechanism for the Libra moon can be a mirror dependency. So this is when they will outsource their emotional regulation. The tone of the relationship will be what dictates their internal weather. When the relational waters are calm, they feel momentarily secure and safe. However, when affection is withdrawn or there's tension that arises, even the sensing of like disapproval, they can spiral into invisible anxiety, like a desperate attempt to recalibrate themselves to establish what they feel is the balance. Their emotional reflection, that very sense of being acceptable, lovable, tolerable, is therefore outsourced to the person sitting across from them. And without a positive reflection, they lose their emotional coherence. Without harmony, they lose their emotional gravity. So over time, we can see this develop into a Libra Moon's relational shape-shifting. So this is when they become the chameleon in their most intimate spaces and adjust what is their true self, the true heart in there, adjusting their opinions, their needs, definitely their emotional temperature to match what they believe is most palatable for the person they want to accept and attach with, have a secure attachment with. So this shape-shifting is not a manipulation. It's just built on survival in a very subconsciously desperate attempt to remain lovable by being seamlessly adaptable. So with the Libra Moon, it's more than a fear of abandonment. It goes deeper into the fear of being abandoned or exiled because of who they truly are inside. The fear that raw emotional exposure, the anger they suppress, the needs that they silence, the gravity that they bury would tip these very delicately held scales and leave them isolated and in fear of total isolation, total loss. So their attachment anxiety really motivates them toward compliance, and this is when they can they've pretty much made themselves like half present in their connection, visible enough to sustain affection, but then hiding enough of themselves to prevent rejection. This attachment avoidance really drives them to censor emotional truths that they feel could endanger the relationship. So this becomes a performance attribute each day, like to stay pleasant, supportive, reasonable, and above all, lovable. But as resentment will pull and begin to really build up on the inside, as it would, the further that anybody tries to run away from emotions, the harder they catch them, and the more volume that they come back with quite a vengeance. So these unmet needs will eventually harden into quiet despair. Their authentic emotional self has been shrunk until it's almost unrecognizable, like they're shells of their own selves. And these can be people that kind of have this almost constant longing, nostalgia because of this, to go back to their early years, like their formative years. And this isn't because their life is bad now and it was better then. What it comes down to is back then they were just more in touch with who they really were. They just felt more free. They were living the life that, or expressing the way that they truly wanted, and not in the way that they believe that other people expect from them. So it's about being afraid to reveal the weight of their emotions, the fear of disrupting the balance and therefore losing everything, which is you. So to heal the Libra Moon attachment style, this whole system engineered to keep their relationships at this almost, it's just like this center of balance that kind of isn't even reachable. It's so idyllic that no human relationship is that pure. There's got to be some kind of messiness and chaos going on. So that means that restoring or discovering a secure attachment style will demand radical destabilizing acts. So this is getting to a place where they know themselves well enough inside to choose authenticity over diplomacy. This is they have to be willing to risk the rupture they have spent their whole life avoiding, and to test out the terrifying possibility that love, true love, can survive their emotional truth. So it's not about being loved because they're easy. They're loved because they are complete. They are whole. They are their whole true selves. So their emotional reality is not a liability, and healing can truly begin when they stop this mirroring of others, and they're able to choose that disruptive, messy, honest kind of connection, even if it costs them that counterfeit peace and personality that they fought so hard to build and preserve. So when we're looking at this attachment style, we're really looking at a masterpiece of relational survival, but it's also a very clever trap. The seventh house is the mirror of illusions. The Venus mirror is the handheld mirror. The glyph of Libra is the mirror sitting on the vanity table. So to release from the demand of needing to see themselves mirrored back, and realizing that this is a trap. They've trapped themselves in a gilded cage built from self-suppression, mirror hunger, and emotional camouflage. So eventually the developed Libra Moon comes to realize that true attachment is not maintained through constant adaptation. It's forged in the unflinching exposure of their true selves, when they risk being fully imperfectly known, and then they are truly loved anyway. So I hope if you have a Libra Moon, or you are close to a Libra Moon in your life, that this video could offer you a bit of insights. And if you'd like some more information on Libra Moon, please subscribe to me. I will post some more videos, and I have a lot of writing on my blog, so I will put the link below. And